Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tia here. If you're new, please like and subscribe. But for today's video, I'm going to be doing a story time about me like losing friends, whatever, growing into my true self, blah blah blah. Story time basically starts with me and my group of friends. Well, actually, like this one girl, she lives down the street from me and we like grew up together basically. She was in my class since like second grade up until like high school graduation pretty much. So I was best friends with her basically throughout like high school or whatever. Like we were best friends in like second grade, and then like I think we saw each other around in middle school, whatever, but we mainly became best friends in high school, right? So it was just me and her. And then she introduced me to this other girl that was like in her English class or whatever. And then basically we had our group of three. Y'all know with group of threes, they never work out, unfortunately. So pretty much I felt like the outsider, I guess, because I did go to like a white high school, so all these girls were white, you know, keep that in mind. And you know, we were friends from like 9th to 12th grade. We would basically like walk the hallways together, talk about classes, whatever. Like our friend group wasn't really the type to talk about like boys and sex and stuff. Like me in high school, I wasn't even interested in boys at that point because like I said, there was like all white guys in the school, and like I'm not interested in them, and even like boys in general, like that wasn't on my mind. Like sex wasn't on my mind. Like I'm just here thinking like I gotta pass my freaking classes, you know, while all these kids are going to like high school parties, drinking and smoking. I wasn't doing none of that. It's the type of thing where like back then I didn't like really know myself. I wasn't like in tune with my culture and everything because I was surrounded with these white people my entire life basically. So every day at school I was like straightening my hair, like literally every single day. Like I was frying the fuck out of my hair. I felt pressured to wear my contacts every day because, you know, back then people would call you like 4 eyes for wearing glasses. I don't know, it was just like high school was basically a mess. But these girls, like I was basically close to them, so it was me, my friend, and then her friend, that, and then we all became like a group of 3 people. And then obviously like you have like the little outsiders, like the side friends basically, where like y'all kind of know each other but like not enough to hang outside of school or whatever. Classes with like some of like the side friends or whatever, they were really cool. I'm so friends with one of them to this day on Instagram. But like the other girls in my main group, I unfollowed them. I think I actually blocked them actually, but like we'll get to that later. So all I can remember is like in senior year 2016, that was like one of the best years ever, right? So obviously that's the year where you guys have like prom, graduation and stuff. It was also the time of the presidential election, you know, between Trump and Hillary, and that just conveniently happened to be the year that I was able to vote. All I remember is I voted for Hillary, whatever, and my other friend, like from second grade, she voted for Hillary too. But then the third girl that like we brought in or whatever, she said that she voted for Trump, and we were like, why? Like, what are you doing? And she was like, I don't know, like I just follow whatever my parents decide to do. And I was like, that's interesting. So that right there made me kind of look at her differently. But even with like both of them, there would be awkward moments with where like race was brought up or something, like some racial issues, something like that. Like I remember one of my friends, like the girl from second grade, she showed me some like meme Vine thing where it was like took place where like these people went on a field trip to like a cotton field, and like the black guy was picking cotton. It was like a meme, a guy who does meme videos or whatever, and the black guy was picking cotton, and she was showing me this and like laughing at it like it was funny. And obviously like it's like a skit or whatever, so like she thought I would find it funny. But the first thing I was thinking about, like I'm thinking like she's showing me a guy picking cotton, like does she realize that I'm black? And like part of the time, like I feel like they forgot I was black in a way, because like I just blended in so well. Back then we never talked about like racial issues. That was never like a thing, you know. Even like certain days where like they were like talking about curling their hair to look nice at school or whatever, because we had like this thing called like Fancy Fridays, where like she came up with the concept because she was like, yeah, everyone usually dresses like a hobo on Fridays, you know, they wear like jeans or leggings because it's Friday, but we should dress up and wear like dresses on Fridays, you know, that way like we look better than everybody else. So that was just a thing that we did, fancy Fridays or whatever. So then I remember like one day I came and I was the only one wearing a dress, and I was like, why aren't y'all wearing dresses? And they were like, we didn't feel like it. And I was like, wow, so they had just had me here looking stupid wearing a dress by myself, you know. And then people asking me, they're like, oh, why are you all dressed up for, blah blah blah. And I'm like, dang, like I look stupid now. So just even like little things like that, like, were really annoying. Or we would be at lunch and they would be like, oh, like who wants to come to the bathroom with me? And like they would all like rush to go to the bathroom with each other, and then I would be the one to like stay back and like watch our lunch boxes or whatever. And then even this one girl that they brought in, like the new girl, and like she was also in my second grade class, but I didn't really talk to her back then. But it was the blonde girl, she came into our group. Then we basically had a group of 4, but the blonde girl, I think she was like in all these clubs, and she was low-key like boy crazy, so we didn't really see her that much. And I just always hated her, even since second grade. She was just evil, but whatever. And then I don't know, all over the place, like I've had these like all these different experiences where I felt like excluded and everything, even after the Trump thing, whatever. And then even in high school or whatever, like at graduation, I'm like, oh, like am I even gonna see these people again? Like this is crazy. And then I think we hung out like a couple times, maybe like the first year of college, we went to the movies and stuff, and or hung out at the girl's house and we played Wii, had like a sleepover or something like that. But after that was when the whole Black Lives Matter thing was happening. What was that, like 2020, 2019? I don't know. But the whole Black Lives Matter thing was happening. I just didn't like how none of those girls were posting about it. Like all those white friends that I had from high school, none of them were posting about it, or like all the protests or anything. I'm like, this is kind of weird, you know. Or they weren't like checking up on me, and they're like, oh, like dang, like what is your thoughts on all of this like happening, whatever. So I feel like that was like the main time that like race was actually brought up, like for everyone or whatever. So then after that, I was like, you know what, I'm done with these people, because they were like excluding me out of stuff too, because it was like Halloween or something like that, and they posted a picture of them too, like painting the pumpkins and stuff, and they didn't even invite me or like ask me to hang out. And then I was like, oh, that's weird. And of course, like I texted them, I was like, oh dang, like y'all didn't tell me you were doing this. And they were like, oh well, you know, we didn't think that you would like it, or you would probably say no, whatever, just because I turned them down in the past. But when I turn people down, it's because I actually had like a freaking doctor's appointment and I had braces on or something, so I would always have to be going to the dentist and stuff like that. But they just took that and ran with it, so they just stopped inviting me to stuff, so it became only them two. And of course I'm the one that's left out, so I was like, whatever, y'all want to exclude me and all this stuff in the world is happening, whatever. So then I just ended up blocking them pretty much, or like I think I removed them with like the remove button, how you can just remove people without blocking them. And then one of the girls, she tried like following me back, and I'm like, bro, like she probably thought it like I unfollowed her on accident. I'm like, no. And then I just blocked all of them. I pretty much blocked all the white people that were following me, like everyone from high school. I just blocked all of them. I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. And that's when I realized, I'm like, dang, like I need black friends, or at least like people with culture or whatever. If my own friends of like a decade aren't even gonna acknowledge what's going on in the world and everything like that, all these issues and stuff like that. So I was just over at that point. And I also had a Facebook back then, and I would go on the girl's Facebook, and she was posting things like, oh my gosh, like why are people protesting, and they're destroying all these businesses, like why are they doing this? And then she would say stuff like she's like Christian, so that's like, I low-key didn't like her because of that, because she's just like super religious in general. But like she was saying all this stuff about just like religion, and she's like, yeah, like God wouldn't like this and stuff like that. And then she was saying stuff about like voting for Trump again or whatever, you know how it was like Trump versus Biden. She was like talking about voting for him again. And she also said stuff that she was like pro-life, and basically that's not like, I'm not into any of that. Like she's like a pick me type. I just realized that she's like a pick me, always wants attention from guys and like stuff like that. Because I don't know, she didn't like lose her virginity when we were in high school or anything, And I think actually none of them did. Now that I think about it, I feel like I was the only one that was like, I was talking to a guy from another school, but them two, they were like kind of loners and stuff. So I think they like kissed the guy, but they never did anything for real, for real. So then when I got my first boyfriend, they were like asking me about it, and I'm like, bro, I ain't telling you any of that, you know, because I barely be doing that stuff with him. But just in general, like, she was posting all like the worst stuff imaginable, and she wanted to be like a teacher as well. That's like how those mean girls try to become nurses and stuff when they're like low-key racist. And like, she's posting all this stuff, and I'm thinking like, bro, does she not know that she has a black friend, you know? Because then that's the thing, like, that's the thing too, like, I would have called her out on all of this nonsense, like racism or just like the pro-life thing. I would have called her out, but I was just over it at that point. And like, I'm like, dang, like, this person that I've known for like 4 years like really is here saying like, why is Black Lives Matter a thing, and just like all this nonsense. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. So I pretty much removed her off Facebook and Snapchat, everything like that. And then the other girl that I've known since second grade, who literally lives down the street from me, you know, I considered being her friend, like just us two, but then I didn't want to be in a situation where it would be us two and then she would like ask the other girl to hang out with us, or she would like mention the other girl or tell the other girl what me and her do. Just, I didn't want it to be so involved like that. So then I had to cut off this girl that I've known for so long. And it was like, I was low-key sad about it, because I was like, dang, like, this is like my childhood friend, but at the same time we didn't even really relate to anything, didn't really have much in common. Now that I think about it, she liked, you know, Disney stuff. She's like really like a perfectionist into things. She's into like, I don't know, just, we didn't really even have that much in common, besides the fact that we've known each other for like forever. And even now it would be weird, like technically I could just go to her house, knock on her door and be like, hey, you want to be friends again? But at the same time, I feel like people are in your life for a certain time period and for you to learn stuff from them. So it's like there's not even any point of me like reconnecting with her, even though she was like a childhood friend, you know, because if we barely had stuff in common back then, like what are we gonna have in common now, you know? Like, then I don't know, just like certain things like that. But yeah, pretty much I grew out of that friendship. Even now, it's been like years later, I still don't really have any real friends, not even like black friends for real. It's literally just been me and myself, just chilling. But yeah, I do talk to some black girls here and there, so that's like the big difference. Like, I can actually talk about stuff that I want to talk about, you know, like I can talk about wigs and braids and just the culture and like certain jokes that like white people wouldn't understand. Just like certain stuff like that is like so different experiencing. Like, I can actually be myself and like talk about stuff that I want to talk about, because I felt like I was like holding back then. But yeah, that was pretty much it, how I lost those friends and whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.